It will be a unique road. We, along with our partner Connect East, think that this road will be one of the most outstanding pieces of urban road infrastructure in the world.
Eastlink is more than a road. It's going to be an experience for people.
I mean, this is really quite significant in terms of infrastructure in Australia.
I can tell you that this is going to be commensurate with the best in the world, and in some ways it'll have a particularly Victorian flavour to it as well.
Well, Eastlink is probably the largest public infrastructure, road infrastructure job undertaken in Australia. $2.5 billion worth of work, less than 3 years into the project. The project is 80% complete.
Landscaping will actually define Eastlink. It'll provide Eastlink with its identity.
As part of Eastlink, we're building 1.6 kilometre twin tunnels under the Mullen Valley.
Probably the most exciting thing for me is the way the project parties have all worked together to have this project to be an outstanding success. It's going to be a great job. The Eastlink project, which was formerly known as the Scoresby Freeway and then it was combined with the Eastern Freeway, has been on the drawing board since the mid-1960s. The alignment was identified in the early Melways when they first came out, so everybody's known that this road was going to be here one day. Well, I think the opportunity was created when the Victorian State Government made some decisions to combine the Scoresby and the Eastern Freeway extension together to form what was then called the Mitcham-Frankston project, now known as the Eastlink project. Doing it as a public-private partnership just created fantastic opportunities for the private sector to get in and do this job and do it as efficiently and as quickly as they possibly can.
The project consists of 39 kilometres of motorway, 6 kilometres of untolled bypass roads at Dandenong and Ringwood, 17 major interchanges with arterial roads and the Monash Freeway included, some 88 bridges have had to be constructed, 40 kilometres of shared user paths from one end to the other.
We awarded the concession to Connect East. It's a 39-year concession, and at the same time they then awarded a design and construct contract of $2.5 billion to Tees John Holland. And ever since those decisions were made, the project has really kicked off and is being delivered at an incredible rate by Tees John Holland.
Earthworks is approximately 7.2 million cubic metres of fill. In terms of concrete, there's of the order of 380,000 cubic metres of concrete, 39,000 tonne of reinforcement within that concrete. The total asphalt within the project is about 1.3 million tonne.
Being able to generate expenditures up in excess of 100 million a month on 6 separate occasions is probably unique in Australia's road building history.
The tunnelling works at the northern end of the project had many innovative aspects to the work, very difficult tunnelling conditions.
We're going through mudstone and siltstone, and in some parts it was very, very hard rock where we had to drill and blast.
The rock form, the groundwater, the faulting in the rock material are all very difficult to deal with and require constant geological reassessment of the conditions as the tunnel advances.
We have a deluge system in the tunnel. We also have firefighting equipment, help phones, radio rebroadcast and the public address system as well. So we have a very safe tunnel and it's to world-class standards.
Well, that day that we did break through the tunnel was fantastic. The guys, they worked very hard under very difficult conditions underground, and for them to break through, that is really the culmination of heaps of effort that have gone into that operation.
There'll be quite a lot of colour, and Woodmarsh, the architects and Tract have chosen a sort of palette of colours which reflect the colours of the indigenous plants in the area. Several greens, some oranges and some red from the plants and flowers. Another feature of the urban landscape will be our corporate head office and operations centre in Ringwood. which is a rather unusual building leaning out over the toll road, and it will be most impressive. There's 4 or 5, I suppose, different types of noise walls from rock face, and some of them are flat grey structures and others lighter colours as well. There's a fair variety to them.
Driving through the tunnels is going to be fantastic. As you approach the tunnels, there's vent stacks which are going to be architecturally clad, and they will symbolise the entrance to the tunnel and the valley. And so as you're driving past, you'll get the lights.
We saw urban design as being extremely important. We wrote that in our brief. I think we've moved to a stage with our road developments in Victoria where, particularly these massive road projects in the urban areas, that they're going to be here for a long time. We may as well make them look very attractive and have features of interest for people as they travel along them.
The commuting public will love it because it's not your dull road, it's not just plain concrete. We're going to have unique architectural features, we're going to have artwork, and we're going to have lots of colour.
They'll be extremely surprised, you know, just the different coloured transparencies on the noise walls as you go over bridges. So it'll be an exciting vista for people as they drive through it. This is going to be one of the most outstanding looking roads in the world.
We had a significant precast operation that we established in Morwell in the Latrobe Valley, equivalent to a $100 million operation. They had to produce over 22,000 pieces of precast, including 1,650 precast elements that go to make up the bridge beams and the bridge substructures. Everything from the ground up to the underside of the beams, and then the beams themselves are precast. There's probably no other method of constructing these noise walls to achieve the architectural requirements other than precast concrete.
On this project we have 88 bridges all being delivered inside a period of 3 years. That's the largest bridge building program ever in this state and possibly anywhere in the nations. We have spent a lot of time developing the architecture for the bridges, and they'll have different shapes. Some of them also, particularly the pedestrian overpasses, are brightly coloured to give a sense of location.
We constructed a bridge that supports the Ringwood Railway over Eastlink, and that bridge had to be constructed without disrupting the passage of trains, so that required the bridge to actually be constructed to the side of the existing railway to then allow the railway to be closed for only one weekend, and the bridge, 1,800 tonne of it, mind you, to be slid into position and the railway re-established all within just over 48 hours. It was very clever. A lot of engineering and a lot of good planning, a lot of dedicated people.
We're spending over $50 million in terms of our landscaping, our shared use paths and our wetlands, and creating facilities and open spaces that people can come and enjoy for years to come. We've got over 4 million plants that will be planted along the entire project corridor, and it will actually exceed the plants and the actual parkland that is Melbourne CBD area, including the Botanical Gardens. So we'll have over 480 hectares of plants. In total, we've got over 500,000 trees which will be planted along the alignment, half of those being river red gums, and what they will actually do was absorb the carbon dioxide, so in some way the project will become carbon neutral, with the trees taking 130,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide and offsetting the emissions from the actual road itself.
There's over 40 kilometres of shared user path along the Eastlink corridor. In this section of the Mullen we've got 2.7 kilometres of shared user path, and it's a very unique path through here. It's not your usual shared user path in that it's more rustic. This shared user path is shown on the Melways, and it's also shown on the bicycle route network through Melbourne, so people who don't know about it now will certainly get to know about it in the future, and they'll be able to travel along this path from Melbourne to Frankston.
Wetlands will be a key feature both for local habitat and also for surrounding properties and residents for people to come and enjoy. We have planted plants which will attract local habitats and birds and wildlife, and actually one of our initiatives to promote them to come to the area, we actually installed wooden ducks during the construction process so the ducks would be attracted to the actual facilities. What you actually see behind me is one of our largest wetlands called the Oakwood Park wetland. It has got 2 viewing platforms, timber boardwalk and numerous plants behind us. There's also going to be a picnic shelter in the centre there, and as you can hear behind us we've got birds and a few ducks in the area already.
And I guess as constructors, designers of infrastructure, we've got to be very mindful of the environment and protect it wherever we can. The tunnel was a fantastic solution. It preserved that entire valley. We're building a shared user path through that valley. It'll be there available for everyone to enjoy.
The tunnels are to my left, going under that hill there, and roughly we're about 30 metres down underground, and you wouldn't know that we had a tunnel going under there.
Well, we engaged with the communities very early on in the process, once CETA was started and a decision was made to toll this roadway so as to pay for it. We had to get out there and explain things to the community, and we did that in a very proactive manner. We asked our bidders to also spend a lot of time in the community when they were preparing their bids. We expected them to go to all the municipal councils, which they did. And things like Dandenong Bypass came out of that interaction between the bidders and the council. So that was a very good outcome.
Community consultation and engagement has been a key focus for Teeston Holland. We actually see this project of not being a 45-kilometre motorway, rather we see it as 90 kilometres of neighbours. We've endeavoured to take that philosophy forward, and with over 2,700 properties abutting the project, we've endeavoured to be a good neighbour.
So we're running very close to a lot of industrial and residential areas, and particularly residential areas where we have a lot of neighbours that have many concerns about the construction being so close to their properties, and dealing with those, keeping those people informed is a major challenge.
What we find is that people have been very used to this corridor not having anything in it. So what we need to do is actually manage their expectations as to why the noise walls are there, explain why they're that height. And what we've found is that once people have got it explained to them, they understand that it's in their best interest to actually have those noise walls there.
We're developing a tolling system on this project that is a significant software IT project in its own right.
You'll be able to use an electronic tag from any supplier in Australia on Eastlink, and Eastlink tags of course will be able to be used on any other toll road in Australia as well. If you have an Eastlink tag or an account arrangement, you'll be able to use CityLink, and you'll receive one bill which will itemise the payments or the tolls that you would pay on CityLink and the tolls that you would pay on Eastlink. If you have a CityLink tag, exactly the same arrangements would happen in reverse. Eastlink will have the cheapest tolls of any toll road, any private toll road in Australia, at around 16.5 cents a kilometre for most of the road. It is as cheap as you can get. A full trip, the full 39 kilometres of Eastlink will cost you $4.82.
Connect East offered $20 million to the state government to use on public transport as they saw fit, and the government decided to upgrade 4 of the railway stations in the corridor. The architect certainly took a keen interest when we told them that we weren't interested in just the stock standard stuff, making them more open, a safer place to be. There's closed circuit TVs have been installed to monitor the car parks and the approaches, improved lighting. Quite an extensive improvement to both here, Noble Park, Dandenong and Cananore.
Economic benefits are brought about by the improved access for industry to these industrial areas of South Dandenong and Frankston North, and already we've started to see incredible growth down there. And of course you have all of the improved access for people to those job opportunities, and you know, you compare this road with Springvale Road, where there's 47 sets of traffic signals I think, and 2 railway level crossings, and Springvale Road passes through 4 or 5 shopping areas, you know, and so to get rid of a lot of that traffic and out onto Eastlink will just improve people's access to their homes and to the Mornington Peninsula. Really opens up tourism opportunities in that area as well, so it'll be a great outcome for everybody.
I think they will save a lot of time in their travel, avoid a lot of congestion, but I think they'll be very proud of the piece of infrastructure that Victoria has built when you compare it to the infrastructure in the rest of the country.
The shared user path through this area will certainly open up the area to the public and the community. It'll also give people a good opportunity to see this valley, and they'll be able to walk through it in a very nice, comfortable environment.
As far as rail's concerned, the median south of the Dandenong railway line has been designed to accommodate future rail, should that be required, heading down towards Frankston, or indeed heading down towards the Port of Hastings. So that option's been incorporated in the design.
The thing that really impresses me is the dedication of the workforce. East John Holland have had up to 3,000 people employed on this project, and when you come out here and have a look around, you can just see the pride that the workmen are taking in this project as well.
We've all got the same goal, and that's to make sure this project is the best project for Victoria and Australia.
Very excited and very proud to have been involved in this landmark project. I know that one day I look forward to having children and being able to drive along Eastlink and say, your mother was involved in building this fantastic project.
It's going to create fantastic opportunities for industrial and residential development throughout this whole corridor and create lots of employment opportunities.
The project's fantastic. I mean, this is a great project. It's big. It's got a great bunch of people working on it. The progress is fantastic. To go up and down this project over 40 kilometres and, you know, over every metre along the road, see activity is just really terrific.
But I think they will be most impressed. This is not just going to be your average drive along a road, I can tell you that.